Just doing my radio station. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Hello, love. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, man?
Wow, look. We both brought our hat game today.
It's hat day. It's Wednesday.
It is.
I could also do it without look out. I'm very versatile.
Wow. What a great barnet of hair. See this, I'm hiding the hair right now.
It looks sick, dude. What are you kidding me? I was doing yoga just now.
Oh really?
Trying to keep it tight, you know. Don't want to get too out of it.
I've always been so tempted, but
it's good.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I could pull it off. I'm not sure. Like
not for everyone.
I'm not naturally limber, you know? Like I'm a good runner.
I was neither. It made me more limber. And I like shit that you could do. I need to be like in the hotel room until lobby call. I can't around outside. I hate that shit. I need to be all like ready to go. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much for giving me some of your time, and it's lovely to kind of virtually meet you.
No, I mean I've been wanting to meet you. I was actually amazed that because you know I already did, and I saw that you were following me. And I was like, oh shit, how cool is that? I was very honored. So I was like,
wow,
thanks for.
Well, I have to say, I think the first time I ever heard your voice, which by the way I think is incredible. I've always thought it was like very, very unique. A vibrato in which I'm very envious of. Yeah, I was in Starbucks in like New York in the Cosmopolitan Hotel, and this was like a few years ago, and it was literally just before Lost on You, like really blew up, and it must have been like. Again, I just remember hearing it and I was like, what, who the fuck is this? Like, what is this? The sound was fantastic. And I was like, wow, that's a big chorus. Like, that's a really great chorus. And I Shazammed it. I actually Shazammed the fucking song.
I like what have you been? I'm sure you've been into Shazam, you know, to like meet them and all that shit, you know. I found myself gushing when I went in there. I was like, this is the invention. Like it's one of the biggest things that like the greatest things that's happened to music, I think, because it has nothing. It's like it's nice and personal, and you get so many fans from people that would kind of rather die than ask somebody what this song is. You know what I mean? They'd rather just forget the song ever existed than go like, hey, what's this song? So they could just be like, I'm cool. I know this song. I think it's fun.
Yeah. It was good as well. I remember I had like a good playlist of like, because you could Shazam stuff and then you could take it to a playlist on Spotify, and I had like all of these kind of like, it was like my new music like discovery thing. And like I've said this before, but I don't know if you agree, but those moments when you hear a track and you discover a song that like really hits you, like again, like your track, it was a little piece of like my world that I never knew I was missing until like I heard it, you know. And I'm always on the lookout for great new music.
Yeah, man. Hey, were you about to go on tour? I don't know what your schedule was, or did you just get?
Oh God, who wasn't the go? We were meant to be doing like a run. Quite a big one, like 7 kind of like, actually I'm not sure if I can actually say because some of it is kind of still pending. And there was a lot of stuff which is kind of like still up in the air, but this time at the moment it's actually been really good for just getting actually really creative. This is, I mean, some people have been laughing about this, but you know, yeah, it's been a bitch, like not being able to go out and kind of do the normal stuff. But like, I've been on the road for like 5 years, like non-stop, and this is the most amount of time. Like, I mean, what about you? You know?
Me too. I was getting this since I got back like early December, and since then I've been off So it's like the first time I've had 3 months off consecutively, and it was really I love it too, and I was like, you know, I was ready to go back, you know, but like I would imagine like it would be nice if I had been out for 3 months before this. I would have been like, oh, okay. I mean, you know, so I was a little antsy to leave, but listen, that is the least of our problems right now, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I mean, I was reading a lot about New York today, and I was like, oh God, because I'm from there, you know, and
Yeah,
I can't believe, like, yeah, I mean, it's fucking out there right now.
it's
So,
horrific.
yeah. Where are you? I don't know where you are.
I'm in LA. Where are
You
you?
are.
Are you in New York?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in LA. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, we're both in LA then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Valley cat.
You're in the Valley? Oh, right on. We should, like, as soon as, you know, we're allowed to, like, I don't know, like, not mingle, but as soon as, like, we've both been quarantined for long enough that we're, like, you know, we should just get together and do something. Don't tell me that.
We should. I think we should get together. I think we should play each other some tracks, like new stuff. I mean, like, I'm sure you're cooking up a lot of like new things, and I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I'd love to play them for you and hear yours as well. I was about to release a new track in April, like a new single, and I might push it back like a month or so. But like I have a new record coming in September. So I was, you know, the one thing I'm getting to like kind of really like do my shit like I'm getting more time to do it because I was gonna have to do it from the road. You know, I mean, I've done a lot. Most of it's done, and I was like rushing to get all the vocals pretty set before I leave, just so I don't have to like do that on the road because it's such a pain in the ass to like have to be like on your day off between 4 shows, be like, let's do a bunch of vocals. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a good question. Because everyone's very different. I personally go through phases where I can't write on the road whatsoever. Like, you know, I could have 2 or 3 days off in a row, which never really happens. But
Does it happen?
no, I don't think it ever does, unless you're like Aerosmith or the Stones. You know, you've got to go from one stadium to the next. But you know, I've gone through months and months and months of not being able to write on the road. Are you one of those people who can just sort of like just pick up the guitar after the show and just start working on something else?
I can, but I don't. You know, I'm like, I tend to, but I can do days off. Like, I can get a studio on a day off and go. I've done that. I've written a lot of songs that are on my records, like on that. I kind of got because when I don't know if you know much of my story, but like I kind of was almost just a songwriter after in between the record deals. Like I thought I was just gonna write songs only, and then not with Lost in You, but the record before that, like I had some stuff like Into the Wild. It got me back into the system again as an artist. But you know, when I was a songwriter for like almost 2 years only, it was very like gun to your head songwriting. It's like nobody, you're inspired, nobody cares if you have a day. It's just like, give me a song, fuck you, you know. So I got used to being in that uninspired place and writing. So I just force it. I write through, you know, like I just kind of try to write through the whole block, if there's a block, you know. So
Yeah,
I'm used to it.
they do happen.
Yeah, but I think like you can freak the fuck out about it and be like, you know, I feel like if you talk about it, then you're fucked. You know, you need to like just be like, nope.
True.
Not happening.
It's not there. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, if you acknowledge it, then it becomes real.
Yeah, like I like just pretend that like how it used to be. Like it'd be like, you know, I don't really give a fuck if you're having writer's block. They like need a song, and then sometimes I think what the thing is for me, I just get unattached to the outcome of the song. Like I try not to judge a song while it's happening. I try, even if it's going great, you know, like the last thing you say is like, wow, this thing is great. It's gonna get synced 100 times. It'll never.
Yeah, right. That's the word that just like kills it every time. Like when everyone just goes around and goes, "Woo, smash!" You know, you might as well just take that fucking song and just smash a window with it and put it to roadside records, like, you know, outside, because you're just jinxing it straight away. You know, things that are like effortless and non-calculated tend to always be the things that not only sound the most natural, but then the audience seemed to connect with, in my experience anyway. You think about it too much, you start sucking your own cock about it too much. It's just like you're just writing it off.
To bring crudeness into it, I say to motherfuckers, I'm like, yeah, you talk like this during sex, or you tell people what you're gonna do, like first I'm gonna I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. I'm like, I don't want to hear what you're gonna do to me or whatever the fuck. Just do it. Shut the fuck up. You know,
so I'm like curious because you've, you know, like you said, you were quite, you were in the songwriter kind of like camp of like, you know, what we're living in, this music industry, whatever you want to call it, you know. And I was looking around and like there's some pretty like big fucking names, man. Like I was like, was there anyone in particular that sort of like I mean, look, I've met some of my biggest heroes, and it's no secret that, you know, when I saw the Stones, like I cried. When I saw Brian Wilson, like I cried. You know, I'm not saying did you cry, but is there anyone that you've either worked with or you've met that you've kind of just been like, haven't been able to kind of like act cool around whatsoever?
I didn't meet him, but Joe Walsh like left a long message on my answering machine, like 'cause he did one of my fucking songs, and his assistant was like friends with a friend of mine or something like that, and he didn't know that I was the person that did Into the Wild, but like he was doing one of my songs. One of my songs is on Analog Man that he has, and
right.
Random. And the more random part is I wrote it with Tim from Rancid, the guy from Rancid, Tim Armstrong, is it? And so it's very weird. I wrote a song with Tim Armstrong for me that wound up on Joe Walsh's record, and it was just very strange. He left me a message, and I don't know, I just think he's so dope, you know, like he's such a rocker, and I don't know, I thought that was really wild. I thought that was fucking cool as hell, because he's just so sick, such a sick guitar player, and like I love his shit with the Eagles, but then I also love his solo shit, you know, and I thought it was funny that I had like, you know, went from Rihanna to like Joe Walsh.
It's a bit of a jump right there, like straight away.
That's like, but that's me in a nutshell. That's on this next record, I feel like that's what I didn't go for it, to be honest, but like for some reason it seems like I like kind of, I'm just like really into trying to be not, I don't think about genre, and I don't want to think about it, you know. It's like, and I love, you know, I love that genres are getting so blurred now, you know. And it's cool, and I think it makes me free, and like when I was a songwriter, I feel like that's what brought me back to myself, because I was like, listen, I gotta try to do all different genres, otherwise I'm gonna go broke, you know. Like, so it made me really concentrate on like not you know, trying to just write a good song, so try to write for a style or whatever, you know.
I always find it like extremely refreshing. I think like all of my favorite bands, you know, I mean, granted, there are, especially like in the kind of rock legacy, there are bands that kind of just stuck to one thing and were amazing at it. But then you had groups like Queen and Mott the Hoople, like Bowie, you know, all these kind of people that, you know, I really look up to, and I love being able to listen through a record where a group or an artist is jumping from like one thing to the next. So the album, I know the whole album is kind of becoming like a lost concept in itself, but it was, well, I mean, it's tough. For me, it's not. Don't get me wrong. I still listen through the playlists like before it's submitted, and I make sure that it becomes as much as a listening experience as I possibly can make it. But I think with so much attention on the streaming sites and things like this, where, you know, the people in the suits, yeah, like everyone seems to be more concerned about what playlist you're going to be put on, or, you know, where does this song fit into here? Or, you know, like you said, the syncs and everything like this. It's kind of like, I'm sure there aren't, and I'm sure, like, look, if anyone out there is kind of like listening to this right now, but correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, the feeling I get is that some people these days just don't have the patience to kind of like sit down and listen to a record from start to finish and take it in. Like
records, like I love, like, you know, like that's been a real discovery for me because I didn't really collect them, you know, and I missed that kind of thing, but I do now, you know, like I do listen to records now and I really enjoy it so much more, you know, like I like the ceremony of it, like ending, you know, and then flipping it and everything, but it's so nice to see where, you know, like I listen to records from artists that I've known forever that I'm like, oh, I don't even know this record. I just know the big song on it, or maybe a big song on it that I never heard of, and I'm like, oh shit, I love this, you know. Yeah, I do like that.
I was gonna say, tell me in terms of like your go-to albums, like the ones that, you know, we've all got them, the ones that, you know, you can go like a year without listening to it, and then all of a sudden, like, you just start putting it on again, and you can't stop listening to it for like another like 2 months. Just like the ones that you just you don't want anyone else to listen to because they're fucking yours. You know, what are your go-tos?
Yeah. I love Soft Parade by The Doors. That's a big one. I love Led Zeppelin 4.
It's a great one.
And I love what's the Queen one with the news, the big robot?
Oh, News of the World.
News of the World.
With the robot.
Yeah. I love that one. I don't know, man. Revolver, you know, Abbey Road, you know, I go, and oh my god, I mean, like Let It Bleed and Exile on Main Street. Like,
wow, we got very similar tastes there, but I think if we were to get into a studio, we would know exactly where to go. Be like, yes, you know what we need? We need like 40 seconds in Exile track number 3, you know?
So I feel like I'm, you know, I don't know what I'm considered as, like, you know, pop or what genre I'm really considered, but like I feel like, you know, if you saw a show, I'm like a, you know, basic fucking rock singer. Basically, it's like, you know.
But that's one of the things that, like, apart from like hearing your music, I didn't actually see like an image of you. And like I was playing these festivals like years ago, and everyone was like, there's this like rock chick like who looks just like you. You could like be like twins. And I was like, who the fuck are you on about? They're like, LP. And I'm like, EP? What? You know, like LP? Like, and then I saw it and I was like, fuck yeah, this is the song. This is the tracks I've been listening to, you know, but I didn't see what you looked like, you know. It's just crazy.
That's my 1-2 punch, man. I like, cause I always joke around about like Lost on You. I said, you know, I bet you $1 billion. I mean, there's not one motherfucker who's like, listened to that song, didn't know who it was, and was like, you know what I bet she looks like? You know, like
true.
Let me put it together for you. You know, it's like, that did not.
Yeah.
That's what I think it was like, kind of like, you know, when they saw my dumb face at the end of that rainbow, they were like, okay.
Well, I think they look sick. You know, like I think you got some iconic like tattoos going as well. Like, is this a ship here?
That's a fucking ship. Yeah, it was gonna. I mean,
yeah, man.
All over the, like, I had another button undone, but I didn't want to scare anybody. Like, how you doing? Yeah, end of the world. Like, you know. But
I need to get some new tattoos. I'm kind of lacking in the tattoo department. It's just like, I don't know about you, but once I have one, and then like I just start doing it again and again, and I just stop for ages, and then like, you know, I need to get back into it again.
Main one. Are you drinking water?
What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't like tattoos that are like colored.
Yeah.
And because I recently got like a motorcycle, I'm thinking about going full tacky, like, you know,
do it.
sexy lady on a motorbike, you know,
Yeah.
like beautiful blonde hair and, you know, and stuff like this with my motorbike on it, you know.
I go traditional for the most part. I like sailor tattoos. I feel like very like I think what we do is like very much like the kind of sailor mentality, the kind of just, you know, popping around the world and I don't know, going like, you know, going far from home. I have two swallows on my chest too, and those are like the sailor tattoo of like kind of like, you know, going away and coming home kind of thing. And I just feel very I don't know. I like the traditional vibe, but I'm down with all different kinds of tattoos, and I like, you know, I feel like they went through such a surge, and then people were like kind of not doing them, and I like either. I like people that are completely untattooed, and then I like people that are like so fucking tatted up. I love it. I think it's so like ingrained in our society now that it's like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know, and people, I feel like,
And especially for people like us as well, because we're practically fucking pirates, you know.
there you go.
Like,
Pirate thing too. Yeah, that's my next one actually. I think I don't know what, I'm not sure like how to do it. So it doesn't look like the fucking pirate emoji. I gotta be careful.
yeah. Well, one of my bandmates actually has the moon, like the dark, like the dark moon emoji, like on his ankle, which he's called Percy, and like I think it's like one of two tattoos that he's got.
Nice. They called Robert Plant Percy, and he didn't like it apparently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like,
Oh, you reading any biography?
oh, who's that? You got a pooch. You got a pooch there.
He's pissed because his food's not unfrozen yet. Come here, man. Oh, here. Where's the guy? Oh, here. I'm gonna put it in here. Oh, here.
Oh wow.
He's pretty cute, huh? Yeah.
That's how this is how low it's going. Like people, are you starting to freeze dog food as well?
Well, no, that's his like normal. It's like raw food. Look at this fucker.
Oh wow. What breed is he?
He's a Brussels Griffon Terrier. He's like
Wow.
you see that old movie? It's like early 2000s or something. It's like it's with Jack Nicholson, and he's this curmudgeon old man who like his neighbor like gets hurt and like he has to take care of the dog, and the dog's like this weird little fucking black-faced fuzzy.
Well, I think you're breaking
sorry.
up a bit, love.
What do I got? I got four
That's me.
Oh, you up in there? See me?
Yeah, I can hear you again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny today. I think I was like nervous that you thought I was a complete twat. I was like, yo, is this only audio?
No. It's like,
I went on there and I saw that it said radio, and then the one that I listened to was just white. I couldn't see anything.
yeah.
Okay.
There's two. It's like I got two things simultaneously going on, and admittedly, I'm not doing it very well today. Like I'm kind of like throwing everything together. I've had like the most strangest day ever. I really have. I had a FaceTime. Well, I had like an Instagram live with Mick Rock.
Yeah.
And
yo, I know that guy. He took a bunch of pictures.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, it was years ago, and I haven't gotten him back because he takes it all on film. You know.
I'll get on him. I'll be like, she wants her fucking pictures, mate. Like, where are they?
They're completely out of context now. You know, but yeah, he's dope. He's
he's cool, man. But so like literally 15 minutes before I was meant to go live with him, right? I walk outside on a balcony. My phone's on 30% battery, and I lock myself out of the fucking balcony.
Oh no!
And I'm like, fuck. And I'm literally got 15 minutes to go. You know, like, this has been organized for like a week or something. I'm like, I'm meant to be talking to him for like however long, I don't know. And I'm like thinking, how much juice can like a 30% battery give on an Instagram live feed? And it wasn't very long. It was literally like 25 minutes. And like,
oh, no.
I was just so embarrassed. I was just like, fuck, you know? And then, yeah. And then like I came back, and then I had, I got a random message from a very well-known UK like a pop star called Robbie Williams.
Yeah, of course.
And anyway, he just like randomly reached out to me, and we ended up talking on the phone for like 40 minutes.
Oh wow.
Just about everything, about aliens and music and you know, and family. And he was like the most lovely, beautiful person. And then here I am chatting to you. It's been a very random day.
Very, I think you know, he was very well balanced. I think Robbie Williams.
Yes.
He seems very.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you, love, for like taking the time, and I won't take up any of your any more of your time. You can get back to chilling with your pooch.
I would love to have you as my guest one day, if you'd like.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You just let me know. Like, you got my details, you've got my number. You know, just shoot me over a cheeky text. You know.
Yeah, it was really really an honor to be here today. Thanks, man. And I love.
Yeah, man. And like you said, when this all kind of like, when the world gets back on track, and like, you know, I hope and pray that things get a lot better before it gets worse, then, you know, let's hang out, and, you know, let's write some music, man. Like, I'm sure I've already got messages here flying in, like, Struts LP collab, let's do it, you know. So let's give the people what they want, love, you know.
I'd love to write with you. I'd love to hang with you. So like, hit me up, man. Got you on. Got you.
All right, love.
All right, Luke. Thanks. I'll see you. All right.
See you in a bit, love. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. See ya.
Bye.